Good evening to my lecturer and my fellow classmates. Today I, Adam bin Ahmad Rizal, together with my group members MIRZA, AZMALIZA, MIMIE ZULAIKA, AINA MIRZA, IQBAL DANIAL ANEEQ, and Siti JALILAH will be presenting on our topic, which is Ladies, is he the one? Since domestic violence is one of the critical social problems that can harm the society, especially women, there must be factors, impacts, and ways to overcome this problem. Now on to the first factor. According to the author, economic issues result in increasing duties, tasks, and burdens, which contributes to the problem of domestic violence. The author stated this is because before the movement of control order, children used to be transported to daycare where they were regularly taken care of. Then, spouses were required to look after their children round the clock. This can be verified by the pandemic COVID-19 study, which found that conflicts got worse while confined and being together at home all the time is the root of domestic violence issues as a result of pandemic COVID-19's impacts. It was also reported that by the fact that COVID-19's effects on drug abuse accounts for 20% of the rise in domestic violence between husbands and wives. Lastly, the author also stated that a person experiences stress due to environmental circumstances when they are unable to carry out their normal activities.
My name is MIRZA MOHAMMAD AFENDI, and I will continue this oral presentation with another factors that can lead to domestic violence. One of the factors that can lead to domestic violence is difficult situation. Several situations or conditions like war, natural disasters, and disease outbreak of pandemic can increase the possibility of domestic violence occurrence. For example, during the COVID-19 outbreak, this pandemic caused the increase in the domestic violence, especially among the partners in marriage. For example, according to the report by Nieto et al. 2020, the government of Mexico received the increase in number of 911 emergency that related to domestic violence. This happened during the COVID-19 outbreak when the government decided to make a movement control order within the country. So there is an increase of 60% for the first 3 weeks during the movement control order in Mexico. This shows that COVID-19, which is one of the example of a disease outbreak or pandemic, can increase the possibility of domestic occurrence, especially among the marriage couples or partners in which they are staying together during the difficult times. Next, another example is based on the report by the Women and Family Development, in which there is an increase in domestic violence cases, and this may happen because the decision made by most of the countries in this world to lock down and restrict the movement of people within the country. This is not only happens in Mexico and the country like in Malaysia, but another country like UK, Russia, United States, Brazil, and China also are facing the rising of numbers in the cases of domestic violence. So this shows that one of the main factors that lead to domestic violence is difficult situation, especially for nowadays situation like disease outbreak and pandemic like COVID-19. Next, the third factor that can lead to domestic violence is the inability of perpetrator, husband or male partner to fulfill their obligations and responsibilities toward their partners or families. Based on Corner 2014, women in relationship or married women have the higher tendency to be the victim of domestic violence when they are in the condition of economic hardships and financial problems with their partners. According to MOHAMMAD 2021, socio-economic and financial is among the main aspects in relationship in which it can remove the fear of men to be able for them to fulfill their responsibilities and obligations towards their family. However, Mohammed also stated that this aspect can be the sources of domestic violence when there is condition or situation of men that they cannot provide their family with the responsibility or obligation that they need to do. So in addition, based on Awang 2011, women or wife that receive financial support or economic support from the outside, like family members, NGOs and government bodies, also can reduce the possibility of them to be the victim of domestic violence. And this shows that domestic violence happens because the inability of the man or husband that they cannot provide their wife or family with the things that they actually should be provided or executed to. So this shows that one of the main factors that can lead to domestic violence is the inability of perpetrator or men in fulfilling their obligations and responsibilities towards their family, especially in terms of financial.
So, the first impact of domestic violence is emotional issues. Based on the article, the author state that early exposure to family violence may cause emotional issues, especially to young children. The author support his main idea by providing supporting detail, which are the research shows that psychosocial enhancement is more problematic among young children, presented to IPV who also experience actual maltreatment. Other than that, for younger students, limited capacity for adapting because of their young age implies that social and mental separation is one way they respond to parental savagery. According to Baker and Cunningham in 2009, for younger students will respond to parental clash in different ways, including becoming removed, restless, participating in dull play, backward way of behaving, having restrained freedom, rest issues, fits of rage or hindered understanding. Because of that, the rules in the Unified Realm suggest well-being guests attempt routine evaluating for aggressive behavior at home and offer data with pre-and lastly schools as fitting.
The fifth impact of domestic abuse towards women is that survivors' education, career and financial security can be impacted over the course of their lives. That was conducted a study by the Institute for Women's Research Policy IWPR in 2018. According to Siti Khamsha of Malay Mail News, tolerating predator abuse will have a significant psychological impact not only on individual but also on their children, families and future. Numerous elements such as the frequency of abusive occurrences, their severity, the effects of physical health might affect how a person reacts to the short and long-term effects of the abuse. Long-term, high level of domestic violence can reduce the number of women in labor force, limit women's ability to acquire skills and education, and results in less overall public investment as public resources are used for health and judicial services. Men's aggressions toward women can lead to mental health issues, including worry, trouble eating and sleeping. But as a coping mechanism, women may start engaging in risky or destructive behavior like abusing drugs, alcohol, or having several sex partners.
Thank you to the previous presenter. I would like to continue the presentation with my part, which is the impact of domestic violence. In the article of factors affecting domestic violence against women, a conceptual model and research propositions, the authors state that temperamental attitude as the impact of domestic violence. This can be proven by the fact that author has stated a lot of supporting details to support his main idea. First and foremost, the author had stated in his article the percentage of cases of violence according to Malaysian statistics against women, caused by the temperamental attitudes can be varied by race, which is Malay 54.1%, Indians 24.2%, and Chinese 16.6%. Apart from that, the author also mentioned that some studies believe that the temperamental attitude is caused by angry rumination, which is described as the extended and in-depth consideration of events or circumstances that cause anger. In addition, the author also provided example of 4 factors of temperamental attitudes, such as instrumental aggressiveness, impulsive aggression, prompted displacement aggression, and generalized trait aggression contribute to the temperamental attitude. Last but not least, the author also states that violence against women is also thought to be sparked by a lack of self-control in handling situations that make us angry.
Domestic violence really has a big impact on the victims, which can lead to the trauma. Hence, we should overcome this abusing from continuing to ruin someone's life. The first way to overcome it, according to Kirk and Kim 2020, is that the health professional need to ask whether they are experienced the domestic violence to the potential victims when there is danger detected or assess condition. This is because usually the health professionals are frequently the people the victim refers to after the abusing, which can lead to them open up and reveal about the abuse. According to the authors, the healthcare professional should make it routine practice for women to be seen privately during some point during their contact. Like, for example, the health professional can support individuals to make disclosure and to discuss individual concern related to the disclosure. This, to some extent, can make the victim more relieved because there are people who are concerned about them and know that they are not alone. McDonald 2021 stated that in order for the healthcare professional to be able to help the domestic violence victim, the Department of Health has published responding to domestic abuse resources for health professionals. It can help the professionals to find possible victims, launch delicate routine inquiries, and address the abuse disclosure. Lastly, offering and providing the training to the healthcare professional about how to deal and help the victims is also important. The healthcare professional, of course, needs to have a proper knowledge in how to handle the situation, as we don't want to damage any more emotion of the victims. Training is important to improve the healthcare professionals' knowledge about the abuse, attitude towards the patient, and practices in order to aid the victims.
Hi, my name is Shahridzal binti MOHAMMAD, and I will present the way to overcome domestic violence. The way to overcome domestic violence is based on the article. The author states that strengthening first responder systems related to violence is also crucial. This could entail hiring more people conducting temporary operation or teaching personnel how to recognize and address domestic violence incidents. The author spots his main idea by providing supporting details, which are, in order to prevent domestic violence, national helpline service that are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and are free and simple to use must be expanded. Second supporting detail is access to domestic abuse shelters and short-term accommodation for victims must be ensured. Next is the victim's financial security must be ensured, and social assistance for victims must be strengthened. Helping victims achieve financial security, safe housing and support service is crucial. Lastly, is making sure the legal system is still operational and capable of responding to cases during lockdown periods is a crucial step in combating domestic abuse.